I wasn't sure if that guy was gonna run in front of me or not. I'm like, oh, let me just... That was interesting. Hey, what's up guys? This is the Windone K2 electric bicycle. So this actually kind of looks like a motorcycle in a way, and I actually like the way it looks. So I'm gonna unbox this thing, review it, take it out for a spin. So this is everything that comes inside the box, aside from the tire and the fender, which is over there. But basically, we'll start off with the charger. It is 100 to 120 volts, outputs 54.6 volts at 2 amps. If you multiply those two numbers together, you get power, which is wattage. So it's a little under 110 watts. That's what the plug itself looks like. And this obviously plugs into this and goes into the wall. There's a little instruction set for the charger. We got the left and right pedals. We got the light bulb. This part is plastic, in case you guys are wondering. This is what gives it that motorcycle look, other than the shape of the bike. It comes with a foot pump, which I haven't seen before, so that's cool. And it comes with a bunch of tools right here, some Allen wrenches, some wrenches, and a screwdriver, both with the flat head and the Phillips side. And we have the shock, which is for the rear seat. And we have the battery. Now this is a sticker, it appears to be, but it's like a 3D type of sticker where you could actually feel it. It feels kind of embossed in a way. We have the off and on. We have this is where you charge it. This is the battery indicator right here. So if I hit that button, it shows me with the lights on. And we have a key spot right here and a USB port, which I'm assuming the USB port is to charge your phone while you're riding, but that's kind of cool that if that is the case. And this is basically, I'm assuming you would just pop it in and slide it in, and that's kind of why it's designed this way, I guess. But yeah. For the controls, we have our front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, and they are amazing. If I hold the power button right here, it turns on, assuming the battery itself is in the on switch. And then currently we're on pedal assist 0, and if I hit the plus button, it takes me all the way to pedal assist 5. So 5 gives you the most amount of help and the highest top speed, where 1 gives you the least amount of help and the lowest top speed, and 0 is like riding a normal bike. So if the battery were to die, you could actually just ride it like a normal bike. And then if you hit this button right here on the side, it switches between the different menus. And then if I hit this bottom button, it turns on the lights. Hit it again, it turns off the lights. We have our gear selector, we have our horn, and then we have our throttle right here, twist throttle for the entire thing. Alright, so taking a closer look, the bike is on the dirtier side because I took it off-roading, but nonetheless, let's talk about it. We got a metal fender, and I should mention the metal fender came damaged, well, bent over here. That's really the only thing that I saw that was wrong with the bike, but not really a big deal. I could probably bend that back if I needed to, but it's fine. It's not touching anything. Alright, so we got the derailleur. These are for the footsteps if someone's sitting behind you. It is made out of metal on both sides, and if they're not, then take them up. Pedal, we got the battery for the Windone. So off, on. So this is important. This needs to be on for the bike to turn on to use pedal assist. You could just ride it like a normal bike with it off as well. Push this to the side. This is where you charge it. We got the little battery indicator over here on the top. From this side, so it definitely looks like one of those old school motorcycles, which does look pretty cool. This headlight really gives it that look. I mean, the whole bike frame too, but the huge headlight, I don't know, it just looks super cool. I like it. We got the hydraulic disc brakes, we got the front fork, we have the key right here. Now the key is not necessary when you're riding it. The key is only used to remove the battery and put it back in. And then we have the USB A right here, which I'm assuming is to charge your phone, but I haven't used that. So let's actually, let me show you guys. So to remove the battery, you basically just twist this, and then you could just slide that out and remove the battery, and that's it. And that's basically the battery right there. And then to put it back, slide it in, get the key, pop it back in, twist it, and you're done. Very, very simple to remove and put back on the battery. So if you want to take this and charge it somewhere, you could very, very easily. And we got the little shock absorption for the seat. And again, hydraulic disc brakes as well. We have the kickstand right there. All right, let's try this uphill. See how it does. We're on pedal assist 5, which is the highest right here. Going 16 miles an hour right now. Slowing down, we are on the highest gear. It's still fairly easy to pedal. I could also do it with the throttle as well, but let's just see how it will do on this hill right now with just me pedaling. So it's still pretty easy to pedal. There is a bit of resistance, so I mean it's not like super easy, but still fairly simple. Much easier compared to a standard bike for sure. So it took me up this hill without issue, which is good. The bike itself is pretty comfortable. It's soft because of the suspension in the front and the back. The only negative about this bike is the seat position is not optimal. So if you're used to riding a bike like this, like it's fine, but if you're used to raising your seat so you could fully extend your legs when you're pedaling, this feels a bit different. Now, normally, because of the seating position, I wouldn't normally ride a bike like a normal bike this way because it would be much harder to pedal. But because it's easy to pedal because of the electric nature of this thing, it's okay. And it looks like there's also steps in the back, so you could actually put someone in the back and go with you as well. So I'm going pretty easily. So that's the thing. But I mean, passing regular bikes is super easy with an electric bike. It's really simple. I didn't want to hit the horn because I didn't want to startle them. Otherwise I did want to go, but I didn't want to startle them. All right, so we're at 28, 29 miles an hour. A bit of a downhill coming. I mean, we're kind of on a downhill already, but a bit more coming. Let's see what happens here. We'll also do a brake test. But this bike has a very powerful motor. Very powerful. I will certainly tell you that much right now. Okay, 31. All right. Let's slow down just in case. All right, but the brakes are good, actually. So I'll stop right here. Let's put it on pedal assist 1. Let's do a speed test. Well, just a pedaling test, I guess, just to see how fast it goes. Okay, so the motor kicked in. It's not helping much. Looks like the comfortable speed is around 7-8 miles an hour on pedal assist 1. Let's take it to 2. Okay, it's like pushing me. Okay, looks like the sweet spot is around 12-13 miles an hour, closer to 13. Pedal assist 3, it's pushing me further, and this is around 18 miles an hour. And I'm pedaling with the same amount of effort. In fact, I'm probably putting less effort. All right, pedal assist 4. Let's see what that gets me to. We're at 21.5 miles an hour. 21, closer. I guess we could round up to 22, but 21, 22. And pedal assist 5. So we're on a slight incline, but pedal assist 5 takes you up to like 28 miles an hour. Speed test on 5. 1, 2. Wait, I just want to do it on 5 just to see how fast we get to 28 miles an hour. This is a slight downhill, so it should be easier, but even if it wasn't, yeah, I guess to 28 pretty easily. All right, let's do another. Let's do another one with just throttle only. No issue. Pill, let's do it. There we go. Help, help, help. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. That was brutal. So, one other thing you could do instead of doing it the the brutal way is, I mean, on the highest gear at the start of an uphill, definitely difficult. But one thing you could do is you could kick off with the throttle and then just start pedaling and then let go of the throttle, and the motor is going to be helping you either way. But yeah, this hill was super simple as well, as you guys could see. I mean, we're not going, you know, full 28 miles an hour, but, you know, when you hit the brakes with the BR, right, you see the little BR that comes up on the screen. When that BR comes up, that's basically telling you, like, oh, the brakes are on, so I'm not gonna use the throttle. So if I'm holding the throttle and I hit the brakes, it disables the throttle until I let go, and then it kicks in. Basically, that's how it works. Take it to the beach, just ride around and stuff, or just... Oh man, the grass is like slippery today. I came with a different bike today as well, and it's slippery today. Oh, because it's wet. The grass is wet. That's why it's slippery. I was wondering why. Oh, it's interesting. All right, the grass is wet. That's why it's slippery. I was wondering. I'm like, dude, the tires feel good. Why is it slippery? All right, I'm glad I came and I tested that. All right, let's drop it off a curb. All right, it's fine. I naturally stand up when I'm dropping it off a curb. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. I have to kick it off this way. See how soft that is? It's like so bouncy. All right, let's see. Oh, we actually have to, might have to down gear on this one. Oh, we had to down gear on this one. It's still doable. I'm still not, you know, there, but it does require effort. I'm not gonna say it requires super effort because the motor's definitely helping, but I did have to down gear for this super hill. But yeah, I mean, still very doable. Oh man, that was a super hill though. I do have to say, that was a super hill. Whew! Alright. So, this bike is fast. Very fast. Oh, the back brakes are making noise. Ready, and let's... Okay. Yeah, the brakes are good. Alright, let's do a sidewalk test. Let's just use the throttle. I'm getting lazy. All right, guys. Let's get to the. Let's summarize this bike. So, power level is very good. Motor's pretty powerful. You can get to 28 fairly easily. Goes up the hills pretty easily. Only on the super hill that I have to down gear. I probably could have made it without down gearing, but I just wanted to make it easy, so I just down geared just to make it easier. But all the other hills and stuff, like, it did it without issue. I didn't have to down gear on any of the other ones. This bike is designed more of as a cruiser. It's just like you just sit, relax, and then, you know, you could pedal if you want to. You don't have to. You could just use the throttle, and then you should be golden. It is pretty comfortable because of the shocks, but really the only thing worth mentioning that may be a con to some people is if you're getting this bike, just know, like, the pedaling position, because you're not getting a full extension out of your leg when you're pedaling. Just keep that in mind. It's not something, it's more of a relaxed position rather than like a dedicated biking position, basically. But aside from that, it's legit, very soft, very powerful, everything's good. So let me know what you guys think. Let's do a little bit of off-roading. Let's see how slippery it is. I came here because I knew this road was a bit thing, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you're doing some trail riding, you know, as long as it's nothing crazy, the fat tires will most certainly help with that. But yeah, just keep it in mind. Again, I think this is more of a cruiser than anything else. So hopefully you guys found this review helpful. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you guys subscribed. If not, thank you for watching either way. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below, as always.